Good morning, everyone. This morning I am painting because you enjoyed my short. So I thought I'd go ahead and create a tutorial for you. And these to me have such that winter holiday feel with the icy blues. And I love small creators, and I recently was approached by this creator in the UK, and she makes her own paint. So I thought I'd give them a try because they looked so pretty. What she sent me was her mirror series, and she actually sent me another one called her Vivid series. But kind of cool. She sent them in this little tins, and her company's called MAB. And the bottom of these tins, I don't want to turn this over, but they have, I could maybe turn this one over, a little magnet on the bottom of them. So they stick inside the tin. And today I'm going to be using, let's see, what does she call this color? Illusion. So it's a beautiful silvery glittery color, and I'm going to use that over the blues. So these are snowflakes today, and the colors I'm going to be using, let me just show you, will be a lot of little turquoises and blues, all those colors we think about when we think about winter, or I do. So this is the turkey blue, which is in MeiLiang. And such a beautiful, it reminds me of that Disney movie, Frozen. And look how pretty that is. Let's just create another value of it. So that's kind of like a lighter value. And I just love that. Then I will also be incorporating, like an ultramarine blue, something like that. And I might add in, you could use Prussian blue here. Let's see what Prussian blue looks like. But I want to keep it kind of lighter. But there's the Prussian blue, so that's just a little bit warmer than the turkey blue. Just play with your paints. If you're using your Winsor Newtons, you have basically these same colors. So those will be the colors I'm using today. And then let me just show you a little swatch. So beautiful. What she's calling is illusion. And I cannot tell you how much movement this has in it. So it's absolutely beautiful. It just flows and moves. Look at that. Really pretty. And when I place it over the blues, it really gives this beautiful feeling of movement that I'm loving. I think these are just going to be so pretty for cards. So she did, although I never ask from it, when I, like my mist ceramics, I do my palettes from. I don't want, I don't take any percentage from her because I love supporting her. And same with this. I don't want to take a percentage. I just want to share her products. And I really enjoy them. And she sent me her little box for free. So I think it's really important to not only support the larger companies like Princeton, but also these small companies. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do this very washy, very wet and wet. So I'm going to start with a very light wash of my lightest color, which I think will be this turkey blue. And thank you so much for everybody kind of giving me your information on what turkey blue and MeiLang means. I originally just thought they made a mistake and kind of called it turkey blue, and they really meant turquoise blue. And actually what I'm going to do, because I want to kind of preserve the, oh, that's interesting. There's a little silver fleck there, of the sheerness and the lightness of these snowflakes. So I'm just going to use my little kneaded eraser, which works so well. And I'm going to roll over my pencil line. So I apologize, you might not be able to see them. I always like to have guidelines in my paintings, as you know. When I do my flowers and such, I always use guidelines. So there we go, just lightening those up. These kneaded erasers are great for that, because I don't like to necessarily scrub my watercolor paper with an eraser because it can take the texture off. So I love that kneaded eraser, but I do like my guidelines. And just to mention, these are the Strathmore cards. They're a cold press paper, blank, and I really love them. This is what I've been using for many years for all of my cards. I try to make as many of my cards as I can. And so that's what I'm using today. And I like the envelopes because they have that kind of torn edge on them. All right, so I've created here a very light wash, meaning it has more water than pigment of that, any turquoise blue you'd like to use. And I'm just going to start laying in some washy colors like this. And there we go. Now I might even do, I really want this to have that wet on wet feel. And then I will dab in with some of my other colors. So here, for instance, now I'll go in with, maybe I've got a blue here in my palette. Doesn't really matter. And I just want to start touching in here and there. You guys, I keep hearing the song from Frozen, the Disney movie, in my head. Look how pretty that is. Now I might just come in and, well, no, I don't think I'm going to. So I'm going to turn, and by the way, I'm using my 8 round, but I really could use my 6 because depending on how big your paper is, you might be able to use a smaller brush. And I wish you could see my water. The sparkles are just swirling around in there. So pretty. So I want to go a little bit lighter than that. There we go. Because the beauty that I'm trying to achieve, that I have in my mind, is this very washy, transparent type of look that don't live in the snow, but I feel like that's the look they might have. There we go. And I'm just going to keep turning my page so I don't have to put my arm in front of you, and continuing on to each one. Might pick up a little bit of that water. Now, the tutorial I showed, I actually had a larger sheet of paper, so it was a little bit easier, but these cards are fine as well. Now go in while it's wet and pick up some of that blue and just tap in here and there. And really, again, use any colors. You might want some pink in your snowflakes, and that's perfectly fine as well. I think the key for me here was really having that light washy look so I could get that kind of transparent soft look. Go in with that blue, which now has some of the sparkle already in it. What I'm going to do is, once I finish this, I will go in with those sparkles that I showed you. So we're almost done with our last one here. Just tapping off my brush a little bit to remove a tiny bit of that water. I'm trying to keep a little bit of distance in between them so it doesn't all blur together. And then tapping in with that dark blue, just here and there to give it just like that. And then I'm going to let that dry actually. And I'm going to go into my next one here. And for this one, I think I will use my 6 long round because it has a little finer point, and I want to have a little bit of a finer point for this one. So let's go into that turquoise. and trying to keep a light value here. So I'm going to create these lines, a little bit watery, just like that. And then I'm going to go in and let's pick up some of that blue. There we go. And then I will go in. Now I want it to be a little bit lighter, washier value than that. There we go. And vary each of them. This one maybe has a little bit more color in it compared to some of the others. Now, while it's wet as well, I want to go in with my darker blue and just touch in. Give it some interest there. Isn't that beautiful how it really mixes? Could even go in with some of that Prussian blue. Like that. Look how pretty. Okay, let's go on to our next one here. And I'm keeping this with quite a bit of water because I do want to be able to tap in and have that pretty blend when I tap in with my other colors. So I'm using quite a bit of water here, and then I'll just go in with those blues. As well, I'm trying to kind of use different values. Maybe some are more watery, like this. I don't want them just to look specifically like lines because I feel like, again, I don't live in the snow, so I don't know, but my vision is they're very magical and kind of sheer and watery and beautiful. I've never even really been in the snow a lot, you guys. For one, I'm not a cold weather person, so kind of not my thing. But from what I see, it's beautiful. My daughter went to school in New Hampshire, and I'd see her getting ready. She'd send me pictures getting ready to go to class, and it was always this amazing routine she had so she could walk out the door. I always thought that was so funny. So I'm dipping in and adding some darker colors here and there. I'm trying to give each one its own kind of look, but look at how beautiful this one is. Or I think this is my definition of beautiful. So we've got two more here. Maybe lighten that a tiny bit. And I think, you know, really using a lot of that washiness is key for me here because I want to be able to go in with these other colors. So starting off with a very pale look and then going in and letting, you know, dipping in with the colors and letting them kind of fill the space, I think is really beautiful. And for me, what I love about watercolors, I talk about this often, is I just love how you can tap in and kind of let them do their thing. Let them create the beauty. Look how pretty that is. I think I had somebody once tell me, you shouldn't tell people what's pretty. I thought, you know what? I think it's pretty. I like it. Okay, so there we go. Now you could go into the center once it dries, which is what I'm going to do on this one. And I'm just going to create maybe, let's use the bigger 8 brush. And I'm going to create maybe some little, let me practice first actually. So I just want to do some, let's see. I'm going to do something like that in the middle. So I want to create kind of a turquoisey blue. So I'm mixing my turkey blue And I'm using a little bit darker value than I did here. And I'm just going to go in, keeping in mind this is the center. Now you see my hand kind of shaky. That's why I always rest my wrist on my table, because I've had probably a little too much coffee this morning. And you guys, I drink decaf. Could you imagine if I drank full calf? But I couldn't hold my hand up. I would be shaky. So I'm going to go like this. Now I want a little bit more color there. So I'm just there we go. Just trying to think of an interesting way to do this. So as always, I do these tutorials and I kind of think of things as I'm going, but I think that's kind of pretty. Once that dries, I'll go in and do it there too. And I could maybe even lift some of that out. So I'm just rinsing my brush and using the tip, because as always, I like that kind of different values in there. There we go. Yeah, I like that. I almost see a little bit of purple in here. I'm not sure where that came from. I might have had that in my palette. I didn't intentionally use purple. Okay, now this is where sometimes I just need to stop because, but I put in a little bit of purple there. Okay, what I wanted to do now with this is go into this illusion, is what she's calling it. And I'm just going to do some kind of drive-bys. I don't know why that term's coming to mind, but I'm going to do some fun little swashes here and add some of this silver. Ooh, you guys, I hope this is coming across on camera because it is so beautiful. I've used a lot of metallics, but whatever she's using in here really has a lot of movement to it. I'm quite surprised. So there you go. Now I might go in with a tiny bit of blues here to mix with the just using the tip and kind of the side of my brush. Oh, so pretty, you guys. These just, to me, scream holiday, scream that cold weather. So pretty. There we go. I like that. Okay, and I think this one I may just leave as it is. Let's see. Let's add a little bit here and there. Just dabbing in some of the silvers just to give a hint. So if you're looking at the card, it's a little bit of, is there some shiny? Is there some glitter going on in there? And then if you really wanted, you could add another one over here because I do like threes, but you really don't have to. You could even add, using the very tip of our brush, we could add something like this. Just very light pressure. And adding a little starburst. Oops, don't want to smear that. So there you go. I quite like that. Now what I did on my short is I went in, let's just pick up some more concentrated color, and I'm going to add water, and then I'm just going to do, this is so pretty, you guys. Was so excited to show this to you. And there you go. I'm done. So I hope you give this a try. You could use any metallic, but of course, if you, like me, like supporting these small companies, again, I don't get anything for this. I just told her if she sent me the paints, I'd be happy to share them with you. And I really like her tins. The other thing I like is if you turn it upside down, she's got little magnets on the bottom. So they don't fall and slide and all of that. So there you go. Let me just hold it up and look at that shimmer. Now, who wouldn't love to get that card? All right, everybody, I hope you had fun. I really like this design here. You could do more. Just have fun with this. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon.